Watch your baby for the next 30 seconds and you'll probably catch it. The small fumble, a block that won't stack, a puzzle piece turned the wrong way, a spoon that keeps missing the bowl. And then watch yourself, because somewhere in your body, before you've even decided to, your hand is already moving. You reach in. You stack the block, turn the piece, and guide the spoon. It takes half a second and it feels like love because it is. But here's what almost nobody tells you. In that half second of help, something quietly closes. The exact moment your baby's brain was about to do its most important work is the moment you just ended. Not out of carelessness, out of devotion. And the parents who raise the sharpest little problem solvers are very often not the ones who help the most. They're the ones who have learned to do the single hardest thing a loving parent can do, for just one beat longer. Nothing. If your first thought is, that sounds like neglect, good. Hold that thought because it's almost the opposite. And there's a Japanese word for exactly what this is. By the end of this, you'll know precisely when to pause, when to step in, and why that pause may be one of the most powerful gifts you ever give your child's developing mind. Most parents miss this not because they're doing too little, but because everything in us is wired to rescue. The discomfort of watching your child struggle feels like a problem to fix immediately. In many Japanese homes, that same discomfort is understood as a doorway, and learning to stand in it has a name. The word is mimamoru. It's written with two characters, jian, meaning to watch or to see, and shoru, meaning to protect or to guard. Watch and protect. Not watching instead of protecting. Watching as the protection. It's often translated as watchful waiting, and it describes a quiet practice that researcher Joseph Tobin captured in his work, comparing preschools across cultures, where Japanese teachers did something Western observers frequently found baffling. They held back while children worked through a struggle, even a small squabble, instead of rushing in to resolve it. Not absent, intensely present, watching closely, ready, but holding the space open so the child can reach the solution themselves. That open space is where the real work happens. When your baby is wrestling with a problem just slightly too hard for them, their brain is doing something it simply cannot do when you take over. It's building. This is the territory of what scientists call executive function, the mental toolkit of working memory, focus, and self-control that developmental researcher Adele Diamond and others have linked to how well children learn, manage themselves, and thrive for years afterward. An executive function isn't installed by being handed the answer. It's built by holding a goal in mind, trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Every time your 10-month-old Yuki turns that puzzle piece a new way, she's running an experiment. She's keeping the goal alive in her mind. She's tolerating a little frustration and staying with it. The moment you turn the piece for her, the experiment ends, and so does the building. So when people talk about this habit-raising high IQ babies, this is what they actually mean, not a number on a test. The underlying machinery that good thinking is made of. Attention, persistence, the ability to sit inside a hard problem without falling apart. That's the thing mimamoru protects. But here's the part that makes mimamoru work and keeps it from collapsing into real neglect. The watching is everything. This is not walking away. It's the difference between a child who struggles alone and a child who struggles inside the warm gravity of a parent who is right there. Attachment researchers Mary Ainsworth and John Bowlby gave us the idea of the secure base. A baby who knows their caregiver is present and reliable will explore further, try harder, and recover faster from frustration than a baby who feels alone. Your steady presence is what makes the struggle feel safe instead of frightening. So mimamoru isn't the absence of help. It's help reorganized. Your attention turned all the way up while your hands stay still. And here's where it gets interesting, because the timing is the entire skill. The Harvard Center on the Developing Child describes the rhythm of early learning as serve and return. Your baby sends a signal, and you respond. Mimamoru doesn't break that rhythm. It sharpens your sense of when the return is actually needed. A baby who is frustrated but still coping is mid-experiment, and that's a moment to hold. A baby who has tipped into real distress, who stops trying, who looks up at you, that's a serve. Now you return. You move in. You offer the smallest possible help, a word, a nudge, or the block tilted just slightly. And then you pull back and let them finish the last piece themselves. You're not solving it. You're keeping the struggle inside the zone where it builds instead of breaks. So watch for the lookup. That glance toward you is your baby's question. Can I do this? And Mimamoru answers, with your calm face and your stillness, yes, I'm right here. You've got this. That answer, repeated across 1,000 tiny moments, slowly becomes something your child carries inside them. The quiet, durable belief that hard things are survivable and that they are for someone who can figure things out. Which brings us to the part that surprises every parent who tries this. Watching is not the easy option. It is, by a wide margin, the hardest and most active thing you'll do. Helping is effortless because your body does it on instinct. Pausing takes everything. It takes discipline to sit with your own discomfort, to trust the process, and to keep your hands in your lap while your child wobbles. Mimamoru looks like doing nothing. It is actually the most demanding form of attention there is. The parent on the floor, saying nothing, doing nothing, watching everything. That parent is working far harder than the one who swoops in. They're just doing the invisible work. Now let's be honest about real life. You will not do this every time, and you absolutely do not have to. Some days you're exhausted, the bowl is sliding off the tray, you're already late, and you'll reach in and fix it. And that is completely fine. Mimamoru is not a rule you'll fail. It's a lens you reach for when you have it in you. You don't earn a sharper baby by gritting your teeth through every meltdown, and there is no struggle worth your child's genuine distress. When in doubt, comfort. You can never undo your baby's growth by loving them too quickly. The goal was never a perfect parent who pauses at the perfect moment every time. The goal is a parent who, a little more often than yesterday, trusts their child enough to watch. And if any of this brushes up against feeding, sleep, or a developmental worry that's been nagging at you, that's a conversation for your own pediatrician, who knows your actual child. So here comes the next fumble. The block that won't stack. The piece turned the wrong way. The spoon is missing the bowl, and your hand is already starting to move. This time, maybe, you let it rest. You lean in instead of reaching in. You let the silence stretch one beat longer than is comfortable, and you watch your baby do the very thing you were about to do for them. Mimamoru turns the whole instinct inside out. The most powerful way to grow your child's mind is sometimes to keep your hands still and let them grow it themselves. Because in that pause, you are not just your baby's helper. You are the safe, steady ground that makes it possible for them to become their own. If you've ever caught your own hand reaching in before you'd even decided to, describe that moment in the comments, the smallest everyday version of it. And if this gave you a gentler way to sit on the floor with your little one, subscribe and pass it to one other parent who needs to hear that doing nothing can be the most loving thing of all. This is Good Beginnings, because how it starts matters.